It's your boy AD back with a video. Now in today's video we're gonna be with Rimuru went to One Piece Part 5. So yes, I hope you guys will enjoy this and let me know what you guys think about this series so far and going on forwards. This video was meant to come out around 4 days earlier, however some things came away like school and text testing and stuff like that. So was kind of like pushed back I guess. But yes, I will try to upload next part as possible. And yes, for following you, enjoy the video.
While listening to this, please keep in mind that this story has not been read proof, so there might be some mistakes here and there. Next part will be the start of Season 2 for this series. Chapter 5 Demon Lord meets the strongest man. Over the 5 years after the three great powers of the world had come into existence, the world had slowly calmed down with the occasional things popping up here and there, but for the most part the world had been peaceful for the most part on the surface anyways. Currently we focus on one of the biggest players in the world, the Red Hair Pirates, who were currently having a meeting with the strongest man alive, Whitebeard Edward Newgate himself. Not wanting to send the world into a state of panic and fear, Shanks had decided to use a small ship only fit for two, as he also had been on the down low for the past couple of months. As he arrived on the ship of Whitebeard, the Moby Dick, he was accompanied by a man who many would think was a girl at first glimpse and would fall in love with near instantly. This was Rimuru Tempest, the demon lord from another world. As the two walked toward the giant throne where Whitebeard was seated, they overheard the first division of the Whitebeard pirates speak. This was Marco. "You newbies better go in before you pass out." Right? Quotation mark. "What do you mean, Marco? Is he going to attack us or something?" Right? Quotation mark. "No. His hockey of that man is too strong for you to." Before Marco could finish, however, the man who he was talking fell face forwards as his eyes rolled to the back of his head, followed by many others. "Oh well, it's too late now," Marco said in a tired voice, having gone through this before, as he simply watched as the two being walked across the ship with a powerful hockey from the reed head, enough to bind and break some of the ship's wood, but the other being, he could not sense anything from him but could tell that this being was dangerous. "Do you really have to do this all the time?" Rimuru asked in a low enough voice that only Shanks could hear him, with Shanks responding similarly, saying that it is necessary, with Rimuru understanding and simply nodding before they reached near the thorn and stopped in front of it. On the throne was an abnormally large human, to the point some called him a giant, standing at 10 feet tall. Unlike other large-sized humans, however, he was well proportioned. He had a long face, an old face because of the advanced age, with many wrinkles around his eyes, and many scars running along his chest, and was very muscular body, only wearing baggy pants and an overcoat. "Whitebeard," red-haired Shanks. "What are you doing here?" "Relax, Whitebeard. I brought sake," Shanks said in an oddly relaxed but somewhat firm voice as he pulled out a massive gourd of sake. "Good. Hand it over," Whitebeard said as he opened his palm, catching the sake as he started to pour it into a big cup before he handed back the sake to Shanks, who poured it into a big plate and poured some in another smaller cup. Whitebeard watched as the teenage-looking girl sat down in a way that reminded him of how the people of Wano sat, followed by Shanks, who simply sat cross-legged as they all started to drink. "So why are you here, Shanks?" Right? Quotation mark. "Straight to business, I see. Then, as you know, I've been laying on the low for a while now, and I will be going off the radar for a while." Right? Quotation mark. "And?" Whitebeard asked. "I want you to watch over my territories for me. You don't have to make any big announcement about it or anything, just to make sure if there's any big shot who comes to get rid of them, my flight should be able to take care of most of the nobodies." Right? Quotation mark. "That's a pretty big demand, but fine, I'll keep an eye out. Thank you, friend." "No problem. So who's your friend?" Right? Quotation mark. "Oh, this is..." Putting the cup of sake to the side, Rimuru interrupted Shanks. "I am Rimuru Tempest." "Rimuru? Huh, I haven't heard of you before. So what are you doing with Shanks?" Right? Quotation mark. "I am simply here to watch for the most part, but I will of course protect myself if antagonized." Right? Quotation mark. Gurarara, and you think you could stop me if I decided to attack you, brat?" Right? Quotation mark. Instead of answering, however, Shanks had simply gulped down the rest of the sake and set the plate aside as he walked to the side. Not long after, as he had reached the side of the ship, he simply watched in small amusement as a tick mark appeared on his sensei's head. Whitebeard pulled out his massive weapon from the side of the throne, the Murakumajiri, one of the 12 supreme grade swords, swinging down to slam it down on Rimuru. Whitebeard's weapon was stopped by Rimuru as he pulled out a sword that was on his back, blocking his attack, only using one hand to hold the weapon. Clang clang, there was a few more clashes as Whitebeard had put some hockey into it, causing the sky itself to split and pick a side between the two beings, as Rimuru had put some demon lord hockey, causing it to split on his side as well, but his was much more violent, but it also seemed controlled with many lightning coming from it. Not bad, Whitebeard said as he spun his weapon before slamming the back on the ground. You're not bad yourself, child. Right? Double quotation mark. Hearing this, Whitebeard's eyes widened a bit before they narrowed in slight anger before he heard Shanks burst out laughing to the side. I want to talk to you about something important in private. As they were close to a small deserted island, they decided to go to it to talk as they arrived, and so they started. So as I said, I am Rimuru Tempest, but what I didn't say to you is that I am a demon lord from another world. Right? Double quotation mark. What? Why would you tell me this if that was true? Right? Double quotation mark. You see, I do not plan to get involved with this world all too much. However, there seems to be something from my world which came here many years ago and affected it, and you have been cursed by it through Roger. Unknowingly to him, I offered him to rid him of this curse, but he refused, saying he would just turn himself in anyway. So I am going to offer you the same thing I offered him, Rimuru said in a serious voice. Yes, I know about the curse and that creature, but are you truly a demon lord? Right? Double quotation mark. Yes. Well, I will have to decline your offer as I do not wish to undo my friend's work willingly or not. I have to ask, what are your intentions for this world? Right? Double quotation mark. I see, then the offer shall be open if you do change your mind. Call me using this, Rimuru said as he threw a fairly small ring which grew when it reached Whitebeard to be a perfect fit before he put it on his finger. And as for what I am here for, you see, I am on a vacation. I have no real plans for this planet. I am simply a bored demon lord on a small vacation, and so I am mostly looking to see this world's history, which seems to be more interesting than I originally thought. Rimuru said in a more calm and friendly tone. That is good, then you have no intention to raise an army to take over the world or anything. If I wanted to take over this world, I could get it done in no time by myself, but no, I have no interest in that. Good. Then in that case we are good. How do you and Shanks know each other, and why did you call me a child? Right? Double quotation mark. I taught Shanks some tricks to fight and stuff like that, so I'm kinda his teacher, and I called you a child cause that is what you are to me, as I am much older than you technically. How old are you then? Right? Double quotation mark. Now that's a difficult question to answer, I must say. So let's say I'm much older than anything you can imagine and leave it at that. Rimuru said, not wanting to explain how he went to the end of time and lived there for an infinity, and so was technically older than time itself, or ageless, or the oldest thing to exist now. Which is it? Master, please refrain from hurting yourself by thinking so hard. What? I can think hard and complicated things. Apostrophe. Sure, then would you like to answer this question, which is considered to be one of the hardest questions in existence? There was a moment of silence before a near robotic scared response of no thanks was heard. As I though. With that being said, they continued to talk for hours before the two had decided to leave off to go to their crew before they would go to their destination. Dawn Island. We arrived. Yes, this is there. We'll be mostly staying for the next 2 years, Shanks said with a smile on his face as a small little girl with half his hair being red and half being white with purple eyes and a pair of headphones on her head with her hair being done in an odd hairstyle. This girl was a.dTHEweeb, Shanks' daughter, who he found in a treasure chest just like he was found by Roger, and so had felt a connection to her, however unknown to everyone but CL. This girl had the power of a powerful being, known as the Demon King of Song. The crew went into Dawn Village as they walked through the town with many people making the townsmen all hide away at first, before after a few days they had all come back to life as usual after the crew simply had been going into a tavern and partying the whole time and being on their ships. a.dTHEweeb was currently sitting on Shanks' lap drinking as she stopped and looked up at the drunk Shanks. Shanks, when will he be here? Right? Double quotation mark. Shanks finished his drink before he put down the cup as he said he should be here in a minute, and true to his words, a few minutes later a small boy with spiky black hair came running into screaming, Makina, I am here. The boy screamed, not knowing of the pirates all looking at him. End of chapter 5. 1. What will happen when the boy meets Shanks? 2. What will happen when the boy meets Rimuru? 3. Why does Shanks plan to stay on Dawn Island for 2 years? 4. What will happen with a.dTHEweeb being here now much earlier? 5. Where are Ace and Sabo, and what will happen to them?